Shut up for grown folks to talking. It's your host, DJ Dougie Fresh Kids, aka Bread Money. How's everybody doing today? Yeah, we got a good show for you. Well, today it's about 12:54. Looks like I just got back from the gym, had the chest and tries. So we're gonna take a look at a few things today. Talk about some news that'll give you the blues and some other things. I guess, well, when I went by the pump today, this is the real reason why I wanted to come on. Gas prices in my town have jumped like $1. Like yesterday, they were hovering right around, about $3 and something cents. And now today, they're at like $4.70, almost $5 a gallon. So I'm like, what the hell is going on today? So I had a discussion with somebody just not too long ago. I left the damn door open thinking, well, I could get lucky. But no, I got a little yappy chihuahua who likes to bark at everything it sees coming. So anyway, yeah, the gas prices were way out of control today. And I got to thinking that this morning I had heard something that the supreme leader of Iran had sent a warning to America and Americans that, that they're going to do bad harm to us. So I don't know if, the juice is actually worth the squeeze here. All these high gas prices are having Iran have a nuclear weapon, which I don't want Iran to have a nuke, but do I want to have gas prices? So we're either going to complain about these gas prices or we're going to accept the fact that this is something that absolutely has to be done for American safety. Or what is the ulterior motive here? Because there's always something on the back burner that us Americans, we don't get to see. It's kind of like when somebody tells you, is the world flat? And if so, why can't we fly across Antarctica? What is in Antarctica that is so crazy why we can't fly across it to just fly around the world? Who was it? Amelia Earhart that flew a semi-circle around the world, was the first woman pilot ever to do so. So I'm seeing shit. Anyway, when I was at the gym, I was talking to a fella and he was like, well, you can't disprove to me that the earth ain't flat. And he was telling me something about the Bible and the firmament. Man, everything's going crazy today. Holy shit. So, yeah. So, right when I get kicked back, I'm like, yeah, I got some time. I'm going to do a live, check it out. Everybody wants to call me and fuck around. All right. I got to get in the right mindset. Anyway, I'm not going to start this over. You guys just excuse all the issues I got going on right now. I got these robocalls. I got the damn dog barking. I just got home. And now I got these cat people that are out trying to catch all these feral cats. So I got to make sure my cat's inside. I just let him out. I said, you know what? If they catch him, they're going to find out quick that he ain't got no more balls left. Because I had that done a long time ago because I wanted to get my $25 back from the shelter. But anyway, so he was telling me, he was like, yeah, in the Bible, it talks about the ferment and all this other stuff, which I have never heard anything about it. I've heard Bryce Mitchell talk about, all this flat earth stuff and other people get into it, but I've never really looked at it like, could this be true? Could they just be telling us a lie? Could the earth really be flat? And there's some big polar ice caps that is on the other side. Because if you take the earth as a ball and you lay it on paper, we see where all the countries are, right? But they make Africa look small compared to Australia and the United States and Russia, which Russia has a lot of land mass, but Africa being the biggest of all the continents. So with that being said, then what would be underneath of it? All just big ice, and that's why nobody flies over it, or what? What is this big conspiracy? Why can't anyone prove that the earth is round? I mean, if you can send an astronaut into space and then astronauts come back and tell little girls like, no, we were never up there. Yeah, one of the astronauts, I seen the video of it. The girl was like, hey, how was it on the moon, landing on the moon? And he told the little girl, no, I didn't actually land on. And there's just so much conspiracy theorists out there. Like, I was sitting in there, I was doing chest presses, and I was having a freaking anxiety attack thinking about this. I was like, what if all the things that they've been telling us is totally false? You know, every day it's just something else. Like, okay, now the Iran war is making our gas prices go up, but we got an unlimited stockpile of fuel, supposedly. So I guess if the world is choking on fuel, we're choking on fuel, which don't make a damn lick of sense to me, but I don't know. It's really strange to me that these type of situations are happening in the United States of America, which, you know, I get going over there and making Iran pretty much submit to American will is the patriotic thing to do to protect America. But is it really that necessary, you know, for us to feel this big, extreme punch? Like, people ain't going to want to go anywhere when gas prices are this high. We've seen it before, you know, when gas prices were almost reaching $6 a gallon, how it chokes off the economy, it chokes off businesses, you know, and it has this tumble down effect that ruins a lot of things. And summer's coming up. So, when do you think it's going to end? You know, let me know in the comments if you know more than I know. And I'd really like to know about this flat earth stuff of why we can't prove that the world is round. When we just had an astronaut come back and take a picture of you know, how you have the moon was he was on the moon side looking at the earth rising, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, it looked like it was like this to me, you know, but he's trying to tell me that that's probably just Photoshop, that the government is behind so many conspiracies it'll just make your head spin. Like, believe nothing, you know, like kind of like the pyramids and things like that. Supposedly aliens had to have come down to make those type of cuts, which we knew it was on the backs of, you know, Egyptian slaves and things of that hauled all that shit there and made it over 1,000 years it took to build. So yeah, it's just been one of those exhausting days where I can only imagine. So I guess my goal is I'm going to search the internet for anything that I can find relating to the earth being flat. I'll take you guys with me on this little journey here. We're going to search it together. Just hang on a second. Let me get this up. All right. So now we both can see it, what we're looking at here. Scientists' consensus over 2,000 years has established that the earth is a near perfect sphere. 22 claims of flat earth rely on science denial and selective observations that ignore physics and atmospheric effects. So, common arguments of flat earth, proponents of flat earth theory often cite sensory observations. Through these are explained in the scale of physics on a large globe. The appearance of flatness, well, I guess his argument was that if you see a ship take off on the ocean, it disappears, but it's out of sight. But if you were to take binoculars, you'd be able to see the ship just plain as day. It doesn't dip down, so that there's obviously no curve. But which way would he be having to go? I guess he would have to be going north or south, which, yeah, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, visible distance objects, modern advocates often use camera with zoom lenses to show distant skylines. Chicago from 100 kilometers away that should be below the horizon. These are superior images caused by atmospheric refractions where the light bends toward colder, denser air near water, making distant objects appear to hover above the horizon. Yeah, it's way past my knowledge and capable thinking criteria, because I must be um dumb when it comes to this stuff, because I do not understand a damn thing. It's like going back to high school or college and trying to figure something out. And I get it, you know, because you look at it and the moon is always curved. The only sphere casts a circular shadow from every angle. I have no idea what this stuff is. Why the earth is 100% flat. Huh. See, does that make sense to y'all right here? All this hoopla garbage. Rapper B.O.B. has caused furore by tweeting that the earth is in fact flat, and you can only need to look at the evidence to come to the same conclusion. Obviously, prominent scientists have openly mocked this claim, showing the many ways in which it is ludicrous. No matter how many people insist otherwise, they're right, though sadly Bob is wrong. His nonsense claims such as the idea that the Earth curvature should be visible at certain distances, but isn't. Just that nonsense. His comments and insistent statements are little more than childish naivety. In truth, the conspiracy goes much deeper than that. For example, the Earth really is flat, as in total flat, like a sheet of glass. Well, we know that it's not flat like that because you got mountains and you got what Mount Everest is so many feet above sea level. I think it's like 30,000 or something like that. So mountains in the earth are flat. You can't, yeah, all this stuff is just, it would be like saying a hedgehog is flat, barring an unfortunate encounter with a heavy goods vehicle. It clearly isn't. I don't. Yeah. So that's just one of the many theories that this guy's always filling my head full of this stuff. Every time I'm in the gym, he's got like some type of thing he's talking about this flat earth stuff and this weird, idea. I don't know. He sent me some other stuff too on my phone. Let me read it to you. These glasses almost make things like appear strange. I think it's because of the magnif. Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah. So he says.
But that's not science fiction. That is happening because Ford actually has a series of patents down at the U.S. Patent and Trade Office that deal with the sensors and cameras inside the cab of their truck. And if the sensors in that truck determine that you're not fit to drive, that truck will not actually shift from park to drive. Now, they already have a system called telematics, and that's where they can actually pull up cameras in real time inside the cab of their fleet vehicles. Now, they actually market this to insurance companies because the truth is, this is really about who owns the data and who owns the liability. Now, your name might actually be on the title of this truck, and you may have paid for it, but you don't own it. Now, Ford didn't file just one patent. They filed a stack of them all within months of each other. Are you sitting down? Get this. This Ford technology patent doesn't just watch you. This one puts you in jail. Filed a patent, serial number 0104469.
So yeah, he sends me this kind of stuff. He's just I don't know if he's just really strange or what he's got going on, but it's some stuff that they're going to be implementing probably in the near future. What was this other one? He said something about what if everything they taught us was a lie? There's another conspiracy theory he sent me.
I think we can all agree at this point that they are lying to us about Artemis 2, the recent space mission. Now, there was a couple weird things about this launch. They decided to do it on April Fools. Also, the rockets were 322 feet long, which is the number tied to Skull and Bones. If you read Genesis 3:22, it refers to the tree of life and living forever. They believe that one day, with enough power and money, they'll become immortal. There was an image of a NASA suit technician that has a clear tattoo of Val on his hand. There are a lot of Masons inside of NASA. There was a clip that was circulating of the entire crew. They were visible on video, and suddenly a jar of Nutella flies in from behind the camera with perfect rotation to show the label. Now, this to me looks like ad placement. Now, there is a popular video of a plushie that was floating that's going viral. What people are saying is that there was no shadow, but the woman had a shadow over her hands. If you take the word NASA, it's one letter off of being an anagram to Satan. That's why they say T minus 1 minute, etc., wherever they're at. They name all their rockets after pagan gods, all of them. But if you check the roots of NASA, the person who built the rockets NASA sent to space was Jack Parsons. He claimed he was the Antichrist, he was deeply involved with the occult, and he says he was self taught the schematics of the rockets by mythical beings through sex magic. Now, a lot of people
Sex
think that
magic.
space is
Ooh.
fake and that the earth is flat and that everything revolves and moves around it. Now, the main argument for them is NASA is doing this to basically push a godless agenda. I think it's more of something like they want to do this cheaply and then pocket the surplus of money. They've gotten $650 billion.
Now, isn't it funny that we go to the moon supposedly in the what was it in the 663 or something like that or whenever we went. I don't know if I got the date correct, but we don't go back for 50 years. We got one president that says, the government is not going to fund any more money to NASA. And then you got another president that comes out with a whole new plan called Space Force and this Golden Dome and everything else we got going on. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, people. I don't know why he suddenly just appears in my life and now he's making me crazy, but this is the kind of things that I have to deal with. These are just some of the things that he's sending me to look at, and he wants me to, kind of look up and look at these things. I don't know if you guys have anything you can. I mean, it's just over and over. Gravity is an imaginary hoax. It doesn't exist. Starting in 2027, every new car will be equipped with that, thing where if you jump in it, it's just kind of a crazy thing. I don't know how far I would go believing in all that stuff. I only like to believe in certain things. Obviously, we all like to believe in things we can touch, feel, and see. Our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, believing in him is important. None of us have seen him or touched him or heard him. But it's just definitely weird that you cannot prove that the earth is round. With all the technology, if you talk to most pilots, they'll tell you that it's a straight shot. You don't have to adjust, your height or anything to once you're at 10,000 feet, you're at 10,000 feet. It doesn't slow, it doesn't adjust every so many miles like you would think, to go around something. That doesn't happen. So what is this big secret? So I'm really perplexed on the situation and I want to learn more about it. I want to, advance my brain into learning some of these things and trying to debunk some of these mysteries. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, let me know if this is some of the stuff you'd like to see and we'll start talking more about it. I thought I'd share that with you today. I thought it was interesting. He definitely had me going on, on an interesting path, of wow, that is some strange stuff that no one can debunk that about this whole situation. So shifting gears, I'd like to talk about something else, and that's that the David. You remember the rapper with the 4 in his name, David D4 VD, the murder case. I heard that he met this girl when he was 11 years old, and he had purchased 2 chainsaws just before her death, and that when he stabbed her, he just watched her bleed out and die. And then he chopped her up and put her in that car. I mean, what kind of twisted dude would do that to another human being? I mean, there are so many people out there that just don't care about human life. It's disgusting. I mean, I'll show you a clip that really bothered me, and it was just so nasty that I thought, like, wow, I mean, how can people just be like this? This up. Yeah, here it is. Look at this lady right here. So she basically tells him to open the cash register, shoots the gun one time, and it's just pow, 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 shoots him several times and walks out. Women opens fire at employee at a gas station. And look at that face. Look at, you could just tell she does not give a fuck. Like she would eat your children. Most time, these are the type of people we have living among us. This is why the world is going to hell in a handbasket. Is people like this, that just don't give a shit. Pulls gun out. Her name is Sean. Yeah, she's famous now. Then she publicly bragged about it on social media. I mean, she's proud of that. What do you think they should do to her? What would you do to her if you had your choice of 3 things? You could have her stand in a firing squad, or you could have her beaten, or cut with 1,000 cuts. I don't know. Some crazy way of putting this lady out of her misery. You know what I always say?
And I say it time and time again, every video. We need to put that bitch in the black box and then slowly give her the cyanide gas. And as she sniffs it, it dies. We turn the flames up and burn her ass extra crispy till there's nothing left but ashes. Then we give them to her mama, and if her mama ain't alive, we'll give them next of kin.
So yeah, that's how angry I get when I see stuff like that. And I showed you guys earlier that video of the guy getting his face blew out, for no probably, having a bad day. Maybe your girlfriend broke up with you or something like that. And in the heat of the moment, this just world just isn't, I don't think it's for, I don't think longevity is in our future as a society. I think history, it tends to repeat itself. And I think we're heading down a civil war. I don't know if it'll be in my lifetime, but I fear for our children's children to live in a world that's gotten this far out of whack with technology and chaos. It's like you have one side that's living rich, fat life, high on the hog, and they got security and a big house with all these things to protect themselves. I mean, some of these people got safe rooms and bunkers, they're protected. I mean, look at Elon. Elon could probably fly to the moon. He's probably got a hotel up there for all we know. There's just so much things that when you're small and you're just a tiny little ant on a big planet like this, I mean, the big people just squish us and they indoctrinate us into so much shit that we don't know whether we're coming or going or what to believe. And he's got us all feeling like we have to pick a side. We got to pick this side or that side, or we're not right, we're not wrong, or we can't stay in the middle. It's just tragic. It's just terrible. And I pray to the Lord above that we could come to some type of peace, where the people who are mentally affected can get the help that they need. And that should be a huge priority in the next president's or even to this president's agenda, is fixing the mental health crisis we have in America right now. Because I know the number has to be astronomically high, especially in the communities like Detroit, Chicago, Los Angeles, Sacramento, all these cities that have so much homelessness and crime and drugs. I mean, you got drugs that they're taking, these horse tranquilizer drugs, that is literally the wounds that they shoot the stuff up in get infected, where people are walking around with maggots falling off of them. I mean, I've seen the videos. I mean, I could show you the video. I could pull it up. It's a new drug. I don't know exactly, but let's pull it up. Let's watch it. Maybe I'll show you guys something new today, or maybe you guys already heard of this, but I'm just gonna punch in new drug. Oh, that's not. Yeah, this is this new opioid. Yeah, see if this is the guy. Yeah, this guy right here. He's just walking around. You can look at his flesh and everything like that. And when this guy leaves, he sees the maggots. They're falling out of his shoe and everything else. This heroin type of drug, and it's in his whole flesh. It's like a flesh eating drug. I mean, look at the shit that it's doing to his body. It's just incredible. Let me find something else here. There's another drug just like that called Trank, and it's doing shit like that to people. And one I seen, it was a guy. He was just walking around, and there was just maggots just falling off of him, and that's the kind of scars it leaves on your body. It's called Trank. It's the new drug worsening in him. Look at this stuff, man. It is horrific. And people actually do this to themselves. I battled alcoholism, and I'm through the worst of that, and it's still a challenge to me every day. But this kind of shit just takes it to a whole new level, of like, hey, fuck my life. Let me just go ahead and take some Trank, and like, you might as well, it's just unbelievable the shit that they're doing. I don't know where this stuff is coming from, but it's a cheap drug. And if you're a drug addict, now you see, and I want people to see this because this is to educate and to make people aware of the stuff that's going on in America, so people can wake up. And maybe if you can just help one person through these times, getting off this XYLAZIN, Zaxaline, or whatever, how it's pronounced, it's people are having to be bones amputated and all this xylene. It was detected around 23% of fentanyl powder. So they're putting it in the fentanyl. And you know, this, I think it's coming from China because all the components to make fentanyl come from China. And that's what they're doing is they send all these, China sends all the components to make the fentanyl to Mexico, and then Mexico puts it together and makes the fentanyl. And this xylene is like 23% in the fentanyl. So the stuff I'm pretty sure it's probably coming from China. And we all know, you know, that COVID, it came from China and the Chinese and what they're up to and everything else. It's just a silent war that we don't see, that they're actually trying to kill us slowly because for one, we are the fattest country in the world, and we need to do something about that. And I'm here to help anybody that's going through it, that don't have motivation. You know, if you can't get to the gym, you can't seem to get, you know, into a right headspace, I'm here to talk to you. You know, let me know. I'm always open to talk to somebody. You know, I can help you through whatever I can help you through. But a lot of it, you might need medical, you might need a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychiatrist, but, you know, I've had my head shrunken enough where I have a lot of knowledge where I think I can help somebody. And that's what all I want to do with this channel is I just want to provide a channel where I'm telling somebody truths and I'm giving you news that the news media won't tell you. And it's a fun and, you know, it's worth listening to. And at the end of the day, you can take it however you want to take it. But if you're struggling out there with anything, like I always say in my videos, if you're struggling with alcoholism, drug addiction, sex addiction, any of those problems, you just need somebody to talk to, you know, hit me up or, you know, with what you got going on and I'll answer you back and we can talk. I want this channel to be a family. So if you want to be a part of the family, all you got to do is subscribe and be a part of this family and let's grow this family. Let's all be a network of sharing, caring people who we can help the world just be a better place. Even if it's just for an hour while this show is going, we can say, hey, I love you, man. Have a great day and not be ashamed to say it. So I just want everybody to know that this is a safe space. I'm not judging anybody. It's a judge-free zone. I know I talk a lot about homosexuality and trans people, but at the end of the day, you're people too, and you are, you know, the same as me. There's no difference between us. We're all American people. We all live in a shitty world. It's just some of us are more fucked up than others. So with that being said, like, this invitation is open to everyone of all colors, creeds, nationalities, whatever. You understand? If you got an issue and you need help and you're struggling to find mental health or anything, and you're struggling to find help for it, maybe I can be a bridge to help you get the help that you need. I can be a support system, kind of like a sponsor. So I'm willing to help anyone. So anyway, yeah, that David case that I was looking at earlier, let me get this back off here now. So that David case, back to it. I hope that I'm going to have to go back and look and see how that went, showing all those videos. Louisiana suspends May 16 House primaries after Supreme Court rolls back Voting Rights Act. Interesting. Timu Obama. So yeah, that's just what I heard about that case with David. Sorry about that. I had to clear my this thing always is getting updates and everything. We're doing this in real time. This is a live show, so it's different when we finally get everything edited out. Like most of this stuff won't be in here when you watch the video on YouTube. So I edited a lot of it out, but this is live and this is what happens. So I usually cut all these other parts out so it runs a lot smoother and it's a little less, because usually it'll be like about an hour and some change and I'll cut a good portion out. But if we go down, it's because my battery went out. Because I'm going to probably just stay on stream if my battery goes out, unless I get some people in here that want to stay on. But we're at, 38 right now? It's usually good for about an hour. So Lexi Brown, I'm getting threats over Clay rumors. Someone say something. Clay Thompson, Megan Thee Stallion come forward and say she had nothing to do with their split. Yeah, what a piece of drama that is, huh? Interesting. Indiana influencer Nagalashmi butchered by husband in murder-suicide. Holy moly. Yeah, that's all you hear about when you watch the news or listen to the news or anything that's going on. It's just all negative, negative stuff. You don't find stories of hope or uplifting stories that can give you motivation, courage to overcome anything that you got going in your life. And then people wonder why things are so negative. It's because you got nobody out there giving the people hope. You know, just one mustard seed of hope planted can help bring joy and happiness to a lot of people. All you have to do is plant that seed. Plant that seed of joy and smile, because that shit's contagious too. So yeah, so the WhatsApp message from his dad reads, "Your mother and I will no longer be home. I have kept food for you. Come home and eat, according to the son." I guess he just, it says he, Indian influencer, Nagalashimi, butchered by husband in murder-suicide. So he butchered her and killed himself. Shiloh Sanders, sexist comment, draws backlash, tells Browns reporter to go make a sandwich. That's interesting. Well, that's going to be it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. That's it for the show. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back soon. It's grown folks. Shut up and grown folks are talking. We're out of here.